Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushua, Bahashem Kaha Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who ruled well and taught me this truth. Peace, blessings, salutations, and mercies to the elect, and the 1/3 remnant out there listening and doing this word with all faith and sincerity, scattered amongst the nations and the four corners of the earth. To you I say shalom, Lord willing. This street teaching is edifying, and I want to start off by going into the names of the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son. Okay, so the name of the Heavenly Father, who the world ignorantly calls God or Jehovah, His name is Yahweh. Yah meaning He, Hawa meaning exists or is to be. And the name of His only begotten Son, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus the Christ, His name is Yahushua. Yah meaning He, Yahushua meaning deliverer. Okay, because that's what He's coming to do. He's coming to deliver the nation of Israel, the righteous of the nation of Israel, from the said peril that is at hand. Okay, from this great destruction in which is on the horizon. That's going to leave America flattened and uninhabitable, all right? And all of those and everything that is left here when that happens is going to be, obliterated, okay? Nothing's going to be left of this place, America, and it's going to be a desert, a wasteland, right? So that us here in America and all across the world, because the Lord's going to deliver us from, the four corners of the earth. Right, we're hoping and praying for Yahushua to deliver us from out of this, and we see this thing heating up, and it's not getting a whole lot of headlines or, whatnot, because of all the bread and circuses that are taking place right now. But that war over there in Iran has again, intensified. All right, it's intensified once again, which we knew, we called it, because ultimately this devil is not in control. He can't, him trying to sign an MOU or trying to create some form of a ceasefire, has shown itself to be all but in vain. Okay, just in vain, because look where they at now. All right, and then it's come out, through admission by this guy J.D. Vance that the whole purpose of them even doing this was just to buy time and to reorganize and to resupply. Right? So then they could go back and do it again, and that's exactly what you see being done now. Okay? But do you see oil prices skyrocketing like they did the first time? No, you don't. Right? Because it's not in the headlines. This isn't front page news anymore. So the markets ain't reacting the same. Which just another sign or another testimony that this shit is all rigged. It's not even real, None of it's real. It's all, it's Esau behind, the door or behind the curtains, making shit move, making prizes rise, making prizes fall. It's all fake. Okay? It's all fake. And they don't give a fuck about you. All right? A lot of people still got this false hope in Trump, being the savior of America. He doesn't give a fuck. He's in the pockets of these globalists and Israelis. Right? This is This is This is Psalms 55 and 20. He hath put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him. He hath broken his covenant. Right, because this whole memorandum of understanding was supposed to be an agreement not to strike each other. All right, to ease the tensions from what they have been in the past. Right, which was, pretty much the Middle East being damn near on fire. Okay, constant rocket and missile barrages, no oil traveling through the Strait of Hormuz. All right, nations being bombed. Okay, escalations on the horizon. All these things were happening, and then what? He came in, and he put forth this covenant. But now look at it. Right back to the same shit. And what did those Iranians do to America or its interests? Absolutely nothing. Right? Absolutely nothing. Didn't do anything to provoke this or come into this war. Okay, regardless of what the media would like to say. Okay, they didn't do anything wrong, but yet, here they are getting bombed on. Right? And this is consistent with the behavior of the Edomite. Right? You look throughout history, this is something that is pattern. Right? This is something that's consistent. Last week, I kind of went into how pretty much out of the 250 years of America's existence, it's been at war like something like 92% of the time, 93% of its existence has been constantly at war. So this is a pattern. All right. Verse 21, the words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. Was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. Right. Here it is. He's saying on one, and we witnessing this, real time. Okay. Because back in the past, when we would bring these different precepts out, and we would apply it to, what happened with Jake, and rightfully so, right? Because that comparison definitely is definitely there, man. Linear, right? So, but now we're in 2026, and this devil, he's coming with the whole thing again. So we've perfectly identified all through the spirit and power of Yahweh Sherman who the devil is and who the problem, the cancer, the violent man of the earth is. Okay, because this isn't his first time doing this. We can go back and look at throughout history as we have been. This time around, what happened? Oh, they're not bad people. The leaders, they're strong and they're good. This a couple weeks ago. We're trying to get a ceasefire and they deserve to have these weapons and, they should have these weapons and all this other shit, right? Stroking their ego, trying to make them feel comfortable and good, and all of a sudden, at the drop of a dime, right? Fucking, they back at it. Full-fledged, full-blown war. Straight shut down again, allegedly. Right? Who really knows what the fuck going on over there? We don't know. All right? We just going by what we've been told. All right? Because none of it really even makes sense. Right? But we do know that this is consistent with the behavior of Esau Edom. All right? Because he told this first, he did the same thing with so-called Native Americans. Right? Making treaties, promising them goods, trading different things with them, right? Different furs and such for horses and different meats. And, Jake really thought that they had an ally whole time. He was just plotting. Whole time he's funding the enemies amongst your nation, right? And instigating that, right? So then he could get in, get in the ear of your enemies amongst you, right? Amongst your own, have you guys fight each other. And then the whole time he's just waiting for you to finish. And whoever wins, now you gotta fight him. And he's rested. Okay, he's been educated on the terrain. Okay, the different things that you use to survive, right? Buffalo, right? Whatever it is, different landmarks and resources, right? Rivers, whatever. Okay, and this devil, he's doing it again. The same thing. Okay, same thing. Same play he's been running, he's running it again, man. But this time, the Lord, you've reached your bounds that you cannot pass. The Lord, he's not allowing you to, he's not going to allow you to overcome that way. Okay, it's not going to go the same way in which that it has been previously, right? It's going to be, it's not going to go in your favor. Okay, you've underestimated this time, man. You've miscalculated, and now you're going to find yourself in a position that, as they say, a rock in the hard place, right? This is this is Job 20 and this is Job 20 and 22. In the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in straits. Every hand of the wicked shall come upon him. Right. So the closer he gets to this end goal of his of world domination, for lack of better words, right? He wants to put a central bank in every nation, and I believe Iran is the last one standing. Right? Iran might be the last one. Okay? And he wants them to have that central bank banking system. Okay? And which he's on his way to achieving. I mean, the whole world is gonna go digital according to prophecy. Right? Everything is gonna go digital. But the thing is that this go around, all right, it's not gonna go, like I say, he runs the same playbook. It's not gonna go in the ways in which it has gone previously. All right, this time it's a little different. Okay, prime example, this time the Lord, he's given the same, maybe not the same, but he's given a superior fighting ability. He's given a formidable fighting capabilities to your enemies this time. This isn't just a cakewalk no more, right? This ain't just what you've been used to. He's used to his opponents kneeling before, but now, right? That's no longer the case. Nobody's bowing. Nobody's trying to appease you. They're not afraid like these other nations was, man. What the scripture said, let the weak say, I am strong. Right? Lord, will I get it? All right? And that's what we're seeing on a mass scale. Okay? I mean, everyone knows what you're about, man. They know not to trust you. Unlike, Jake don't learn from history. All right, they've been beaten into subjection to the point where, there's no more fight in them. But people like those Persians over there, they're very proud people. Okay, and they're conscious of, the history of who they are as a people, as a collective. Okay, they understand that their empire has been around, their kingdom has been around way longer than yours, man. So they don't fear you. And they know that they're fighting essentially for their survival, for their culture, for their heritage. They understand that, man. Because they can see what you've been doing across, what you've done to the rest of the world, to all the other places that you've invaded and captured, and the things that's changed in their lands after your liberation, right? After democracy and freedom, right? They understand, they see what's happened, man. So now you're getting a lot more resilience, okay? And not to mention that they have the firepower to stop you on your tracks, man. You can't approach them the same way that you have been approaching, all the others, man. This is Job 20 and 22 in the CSB. At the height of his success, distress will come to him. The full weight of misery will crush him, right? And this is the point we're in, man. Okay, any day now, these markets could crash, right? And all of the way we see people living this whole way of life as we know it is gonna change, okay? Quick, in an instant, all right? There's nothing sensible keeping it together outside of just the spirit of the Lord, man, okay? Because this devil is done. He's through, all right? He's lost his might. They at the World Cup mocking him, right? He's being ridiculed on every side, fucking recently the U.S. played Belgium in the World Cup and they had a suspended player. So Trump went to the FIFA president and tried to get the suspension appealed, right? Because he got a red card for a egregious foul, right? So Trump went to the FIFA president, tried to get an appeal, and a world leader, I want to say someone from Iran or Russia, commented on that, and they were pretty much like, we're not surprised because this behavior is consistent with U.S. foreign policy. So the cat's out the bag. It's consistent with, so nobody's even surprised at what you're doing. Everyone understands that you're corrupt. Everyone understands that you're wicked. You aren't to be trusted. Okay? Everyone understands this. When he is about to fill his belly, the Most High shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him and shall rain it upon him while he is eating. So while you in the middle of finishing up your last rounds, because that's what we're in, okay? We're in him finishing the last round. He's crossing his eyes and dotting his T's, okay? Before he comes in with the ultimatum, the ultimate ultimatum. All right, either you take this here mark, you take this implant, or you suffer at the pretty much at the you're going to be at the mercies of nature, so to speak, right? And that's what it's going to come down to. He's getting ready to make that final press. Okay? And that's when the Lord is going to act on it. When he's fully implementing this whole thing and he thinks everything is rolling, right? He think he's going to get away with it. He sees the number of microchipped people go into the millions and then the billions. And once he sees it, kind of similar to the pandemic, when he sees that, then that's when the Lord is going to rain it upon him. That's when those missiles are going to get fired off. Okay? That's when he's going to lose. And he's already lost control. He just doesn't realize it. Right? He doesn't know to what extent. But he doesn't have the control that he think he has, man. Okay? He doesn't have it. You ain't got it. This is 2 Thessalonians 2 and 3. All right? Because everything is out. He's been exposed, man. There's no secret, really. I mean, we've been out here starting off with the apostles and elders on down. The apostle to heart, like 40 years. 40-something years, man. And you know, brothers have been in their particular area for, 20 years now, man. And years of daily videos being uploaded to the internet. There is no secret, right? Everybody knows now. This is 2 Thessalonians 2 and 3. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come except there be a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition, right? And he has been revealed. That's why these nations are moving the way that they're moving. That's why they're not surprised on how he's acting. They can kind of predict what's gonna happen. That's why when this MOU was put forth to Iran, they weren't foolish and they weren't hasty into accepting it and de-arming or allowing the U.S. to let their people in to do whatever they were trying to do to work something out, because they understand. They know. They're like, hey, man, we seen how them do business before. We know how they play. Okay, there's a reason why all the way over there in the Middle East they call America the Great Satan. And what is America? Who is America? Right? Or who runs America? The Edomite. Okay? Through America is his kingdom pushed throughout the earth. He rules through America. America is Bozrah. America is Babylon, man. This is the capital of his kingdom. Okay? And they call this place the Great Satan. Okay? So they're not surprised. They were waiting on it. They were anticipating it. Okay? Because they understand. Who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called the Most High, or that is worshipped, so that he, as the Most High, sitteth in the temple of the Most High, showing himself that he is the Most High, right? And that's what, that's when he pushes. That's when he walks in, all right? Scriptures call him haughty, right? And proud. He's very proud, very boastful, okay? Because the Lord gave him this kingdom, but he seems to have forgotten that, okay? So now he's at the point of where he figures himself to be a god. He doesn't think he can be touched. That's why, even though, regardless of, his fucking playbook being, run down, okay, old news is, it's the same shit. But he's still gonna do it because he doesn't see nobody stopping him, okay? He doesn't think nobody's gonna stop him, so he's gonna do it anyway. Okay, he doesn't care if you openly acknowledge the fact that he's breaking certain rules he set up, or if he's been a hypocrite, or if he's committing certain crimes against humanity, right? But the moment, you retaliate, now all of a sudden you're the problem. Now you're this demon, right? Now you're a terrorist because you did, you reacted to something he did, right? This is why these nations are tired of your shit, man. Okay? Because they all see it. All these nations, they see what's going on, man. They know what's happening. And they're sick and tired of it. Man, ultimately, America is in the way of this new world order. Okay? Because of the dominance that it has over the world. Over the world's economy. Okay? Over the world's resources and how they're distributed and, all that other shit, man. So these nations ain't looking at you the same as they used to. Okay? This is Joel 3:9. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. Prepare war. Wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up. And the Lord is not putting this spirit on them to not use it. You think the Lord put the spirit on those Iranians to build the infrastructure that they have to hide the missiles and to fire the missiles, right? And the strategies that they've implemented that caught even these American generals by surprise by bombing places like Bahrain and Kuwait and the UAE and Saudi Arabia. You think that these different strategies were put in place in vain? No. And it's going to go even further. Okay? Wait until they shut down the Red Sea. Right? Because they have the capabilities and the ability to do that. All right? They just ain't did it yet. Just like the U.S. has the ability to drop a nuke. But they ain't did it yet. Because there's an escalation ladder. Okay? There's a build up to things. Okay? Just like these other nations have not yet really joined this fight. But best believe behind the scenes, they picking their sides, man. Okay? And at the end of the day, everybody's going to be against America and Israel. All right? When it's all said and done. So there's a lot left to be seen. Okay? So you people out there who are, thinking that this was going to be something quick or maybe even forgot about it. Right? A lot of people right now don't even realize that this war is back full-fledged and intensifying. Right? A lot of people don't even realize that. Why? Because the World Cup is happening. Some people didn't even know Iran and the U.S. was at war. What's up? Because of all, these people are, they're gone. They're delusioned out, right? All the drugs and entertainment and alcohol. Okay, so some people really genuinely didn't pay attention. But those who were, they were under the impression that America had won, or that there had been a peace fire, or it's like a ceasefire, a peace deal, right? And now, you got this guy 47 on in the media saying that he doesn't even want to do a deal no more, and that, all this other shit, man. Showing you that this thing is not as controlled as they trying to sell it to you as. Okay? It's very much out of control, and it's gonna get worse. All right? What happens when a cyber attack happens? What happens when this becomes cyber warfare? Or what happens when something of America's infrastructure is targeted? Because they're over there targeting the Iranians' infrastructure. What happens then? Right? They're going to retaliate, and it's going to keep going back and forth, man. Okay? This is verse 10. Beat your plowshares into swords, and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. Right? And that's the spirit that's out there. Okay? That these different nations are moving in, especially Iran. Okay? They're not backing down, regardless of everything that's going on around them. Okay? Same with Russia. Okay? They're not gonna just lay down and let you have it, bro. You know? And ultimately these conflicts are gonna bring a means to an end to America. Okay? Live by the sword, die by the sword, man. Okay? The same thing that's being used to boost the US economy is gonna be what's used to destroy it. All right? This war is gonna destroy the US economy, man. And it's already been destroyed. Okay? It's just that it hasn't been realized yet. People don't know. They're still caught up in that life loop. But when the realization comes, then that chaos is really gonna happen, man. It's really gonna come. Assemble yourselves and come all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause the mighty ones to come down, O Yahweh Bashim Awashah. Right. So the Lord he's waking everybody up, man. I saw online that Kim Jong-un of North Korea said that he's gonna start revitalizing and upgrading their nuclear capabilities. This is what they're telling you in the mainstream media. They're telling you in the mainstream media that certain nations are starting to rebuild or add to their nuclear arsenal. Then you already know behind the scenes that's top priority right now. Okay? That's priority. You think these people give a fuck about the effects of a nuclear weapon and what it might do to the earth? Or what it might do to the people? They don't give a fuck. All right? If they did, then it wouldn't never even got to this point. Right? We're talking about the devil. The most diabolical man to ever walk this earth, man. You know, it's nothing for him to shed blood. He is the bloodshed, right? This is verse 13. Verse 12. Let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat, for there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. So as Trump was trying to pull out of this situation, right? He couldn't, because ultimately that's where he's supposed to be. That's where the US and all these other nations that's where they're gonna all meet. Okay? That's where it's all gonna accumulate and culminate, and that's where it's all gonna go down. So, and he's in there. Okay? Along with another main player being Israel, and another main player being Iran. And those Arab nations are all main players, man. Okay? And you have a few more that has to get their toes in there. They got to get their feet wet. Okay, so this is just the beginning of it. This is just the beginning. Okay, what does the scripture say? This is Matthew 24:6. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. And that's what's going on. Wars and rumors of wars. Okay? And they're not stopping. If you notice, the last few wars that's taken place has yet to be brought to an end. You look over there in Ukraine, how long has that war been going on? Like 5 years now? 4 or 5 years? The war in Iran was supposed to be fucking 2 weekends, right? Now look, fucking 6 months later, still stuck over there, man. Can't get out of it. Entrenching themselves deeper into it. Okay? Thinking that more violence is gonna solve the issue when it's not. Okay? It's not. You're playing right into the hands of the Lord, man. You know? For nation shall rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. All these are the beginning of sorrow, is right. So there's going to be wars and rumors of wars. It's going to be divisions of people, okay? Because these wars are making it hard on domestic life, man. It's making it hard for the people at home, okay? Because all the resources are being spent abroad. All the resources are going to fucking the Middle East. Okay? Talking about $300 billion going to Iran. Right? People at home, they're seeing that. They don't like that. Okay? Because they look and they see the streets. They see that they live in check to check or below. Okay? And then they look up and you sending billions of dollars to the Middle East. You lighting, millions of dollars to fire it. Literally, those Tomahawk cruise missiles are millions of dollars a pop, man. And they slinging them bad babies all across the Middle East. Right? So who has to suffer the brunt of that? The average everyday American. Okay? That's who has to suffer from that. That's who has the most to lose. Okay? But your leaders here don't give a fuck about you. All right? Now, and I guarantee the moment you start saying something, you rise up, they're going to draft. They'll throw a lot of y'all in the draft, man. And send you over there, man. Send you over there to the Valley of Jehoshaphat. You know? But those wars are going to bring the pest. They're going to bring the famines. They're going to bring the pestilences. They're going to bring the uprisings. All right? Because as this continues to drag, the pressure is going to continue to mount. Okay? And right now it's bearable. But wait until it gets to be around Thanksgiving and Christmas time, and those gas prices still ain't low. Matter of fact, they're more up. And they still talking about the conflict that was supposed to be ended in less than fucking a month. Right? Another forever war, seemingly. But it ain't gonna be forever. Okay? Because the Lord's he's gonna escalate it to the point to where it's gonna get nuclear. All right? This is Joel 3. And 12, let the heathen be awakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat, for there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. Right, so the Lord he's sitting there, he's awaiting for his guests to arrive. Okay? And they're on their way. Okay, because they're all being drugged over there to that land. Just like it says in Isaiah 49, right? The least of the flock shall draw them out. You go into that word draw, and it goes back to the word drag. right? It's gonna drag you out, man. Meaning it's gonna be by force, and you ain't gonna want to be in it. You ain't gonna want to participate. You're gonna try to avoid it, but the Lord's not gonna allow you. The more you try to fight it, the more you slip deeper into it, right? Pressure from above, pressure from below, right? You try to escape. You try to, okay, well, fuck it, we're gonna leave. You know, Iran, they can have that shit. Now you got Israel in your ear talking about, you know, but we family though. We bigger than allies. As Netanyahu said, he said we family. He said we family, right? But then if you go forward in it, now you got the world. The whole world is gonna look at you like, yo, what the fuck is going on? You fucking up everybody's money. Your own allies are gonna look at you because they get a lot of their resources from the Middle East. And right now, because the Red Sea is open, you able to bypass some shit a little bit. But when that Red Sea closes, along with the Strait of Hormuz, boy, it's gonna get ugly. It's gonna get ugly, man. And that's what we pushing towards. That's where it's all going. Okay? It's all going there. Put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come get you down, for the press is full. The fats overflow, for their wickedness is great. Right? So the more this thing continues to bubble, right? At the end of the day, this is all for judgment purposes. Okay, that's what Jehoshaphat means. Yahweh Shabbat. Yahweh's judgment. Because the Lord is about to judge the nations. That's why every nation is going to take part in this war, man. Okay? All 17 or 18. Okay, Jake really ain't got no, you know, so really it's 17 because Jake is kind of just like, you know, Jake is just, you know, Jake is just oppressed, man. You know, we really ain't got nothing. We ain't got no dog in this fight, man. You know, there might be Jake sprinkled amongst these nations that might be fighting these wars, but, you know, we're not represented in this. This ain't for us. All right? We're waiting for Yahweh Shah. That's what we waiting for the Redeemer. Okay, to come redeem us, because that's the whole purpose of this. Okay? For the Lord to redeem us from this peril, which is the second death. Okay? Verse 14, multitudes in the valley of decision, for the day of Yahweh Shema Shai is near, in the valley of decision. Right. So that's what we waiting on. We're watching this whole thing continue to accumulate, right? This is Job 19:25. For I know that my Redeemer liveth, and that he shall stand at the latter day upon the earth. Right, and while everybody else is going to fall, Yahweh Shah is going to be the last one standing. Okay? Because ultimately he is the grand finale. He's the grand finale, man. When all of this takes place, when all the, you know, this war really kicks off, and it's, you know, it's on the scale in which is greater than now. All right, when the gloves come off, when Russia has a, you know, they're directly involved, and China's directly involved, and all these different nations are directly involved in this. Okay, then the Lord is gonna once it escalates into that thermonuclear war, the Lord is gonna intervene. Okay, And he's going to intervene and lay everybody else down. All right? Everybody's going to get laid down. You know? What does he say? Matter of fact, this is Isaiah 63. Who is this that cometh from Edom with dyed garments from Bozrah? This that is glorious in his apparel, traveling in the greatness of his strength. I that in righteousness, I that speak in righteousness, mighty to save. Right, we're talking about Yahushua. Okay, after he comes to redeem Israel. Like I said, we don't even have a dog in the fight because we've been conquered as a people. All right, so this war isn't for us. What's for us is what happens as this is all transpiring, which is us being redeemed. Lord willing, we part of that number. Okay, and Yahweh shall laying down the armies of these nations. Okay, beating them into powder. Right, as the scriptures say. Right. Now he said that what? He's traveling from where? Bozrah. Now where is modern day Bozrah? That's talking about America, man. Okay? The stronghold of the Edomites. Right? He's going to be coming from America. Why? Because he has to deliver the elect from America. All right? But it's all going to be simultaneous because the Lord is going to deliver the elect from all amongst the four corners of the earth. But how would you call it? The main setting, right? For lack of better words, is here in America. Okay, because this is the place, you know, that will become the lake of fire. All right. So when he comes from Bozrah, he's going, okay, and he's gonna have now is it saying like literally that his garment's gonna be dyed? No, but there's gonna be a lot of death that's gonna follow when he goes, man. You know, when he goes, you know, it's gonna look different than before he came, so to speak. All right, because he's coming to lay shit down. Wherefore art thou red in thine apparel, and thy garments like him that treadeth in the wine fat. Right, and when you in the wine fat, right, which is grapes, you in there stomping on grapes. It looks like, you know, it's a lot of fucking guts, the guts of the grapes, right? The blood of the grapes, right? It's messy, okay? But that's symbolic. That's metaphorical, talking about how much death he's gonna bring to the earth. Okay, there's gonna be a lot of casualties via the second coming of Yahweh Shema Shah, and even leading up to that. What did he say? He said, let me try to find this. Like it. This is Luke 12:49 in the CSB. I came to bring fire on the earth, and how I wish it were already set ablaze. Okay, so, and that's exactly what's going to happen. It's already going to be chaos and death and anguish on the earth when the Lord returns. But when he returns, he's going to bring even more, man. He's going to max it out. Okay? See, people think that when Yahweh Shah returns, everything is going to be, you know, gumdrops and fucking rainbows, man, and lollipops and, you know, everybody united as one. No, that's not happening, man. The Lord is coming back. When he comes back, he's going to put the earth back into subjection because it's been out of pocket under the hand of Israel, the current ruler, the self-proclaimed white man, the Edomite. Okay? It's you know, the world, the earth looks, you know, it's like a feral cat. Just wild, man. There's a lot, everything's out of place. Okay, everything's out of order. From men to women to children to animals. Everything's been fucking defiled. So there's a lot that has to be destroyed in this kingdom. Okay, due to this kingdom in the earth. Right? So the Lord said that he's coming with that fire. Not only is he coming with it, but it's already going to be on the earth. So he's going to add death to death. Okay? It's going, yeah, man. Talk about a time that's never been, you know, seen before, man. You know? This is verse 3, Isaiah 63:3. I have trodden the winepress alone, and of the people there was none with me, for I will tread them in mine anger and trample them in my fury, and their blood shall be sprinkled upon my garments, and I will stain all my raiment. Right. So the Lord's gonna, for lack of better words, he said, I'm gonna get busy. All right. He's coming to lay shit down. To put it simply. All right. To put it simply, man, all right, there's going to be a lot of, and leading up to that, there's going to be a lot of, calamity, all right? When you read elsewhere in Matthew, right, it says that it's going to be, as a matter of fact, I read it, earthquakes in diverse places, famines, pestilence, and we see these things happening. Venezuela just had like a 7.5 earthquakes back to back in the same place, which is, you know, I don't think I've ever heard anything like that. But I'm not a seismologist or whatever you call it. I'm not a person who studies earthquakes like that. But I've never heard of 7-point magnitude earthquakes taking place back to back in the same place, right? I've never heard of it. You know, when we see these events taking place all across the earth, we see different examples that the Lord gives us, and these are the things in which we're using to measure, you know, where we at. All right? Because the Lord said, he said to. All right, and we understand, we know that we're there, man. We're mighty close. And every time you say it, we even closer than before you said it. Right? And the days are picking up faster, you know? Everything is moving faster. It seems like you don't even get enough time in the day no more, man. Weeks just flying by. All right, so, you know, before you know it, it's going to be, you know, we're going to look up and Yahweh Shai going to be cracking the skies, man. You know? This is Isaiah 63 and 4. Wait, I'll read 63 and 3. I have trodden the winepress alone, and the people, there was none with me. For I will tread them in mine anger and trample them in my fury, and their blood shall be sprinkled upon my garments, and I will stain all my raiment. All right, so the Lord is very angry. He's very upset, man. He has reason to be. Okay? Look at the condition of the earth. Look how you treat his men, his prophets. Look how you treat his people. Look at the condition of the standard so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American. Okay, and look at the life they live. Okay, and look at all the injustices that are done to them. Okay. Look at how we've been abused. Okay, the prophets been ignored. Okay, by his own people. Here it is that like I said, look at the condition of our people and our state of being. It's ugly. And then here it is, the Lord revealed this wisdom, this truth. He gives us this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, and give us our identity, right? Shows us these miraculous, great things, all for our people to just fucking not appreciate it, to hiss at it. So he's pissed off with 2/3 of our people as well. Okay, and then you look at the practices in the earth, man. There are no land Sabbaths. There are no Sabbaths, period. Okay, there are no Sabbaths, period, in this place. The laws aren't kept. People eat abominable things. Okay, the earth is defiled. There's fucking space junk. The oceans are defiled. Fucking big ass trash fields the size of states in the ocean, man. They using shit like HARP, and they using fucking all these other technologies to manipulate weather and all this other shit. Genetically modified food, right? They sell you water. Water ain't even free. Okay? They doing fucking gay parades in the Holy Land. The Lord has a plethora of reasons to be upset, man. Okay? The scriptures say that their sins have reached the heavens. Right? What does it say that? Matter of fact, I want to say in somewhere in Isaiah or Jeremiah. This is This is Revelations 18:3. For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her. And the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. Talking about America. All these nations have been in bed and doing business with America and taking on the same practices of America. Industrialization, right? These same government systems, these governmental systems, they're all modeled after America in some way, shape, or form or fashion, man. Oh, well, what about this country? It's communist. America's fucking communist, man. All right? This place is, it has, what do they say? The mayor of New York is a communist. Trump considers himself, he likens himself to be a king. Right? All of this whole way that these nations follow, right? Or this is all Esau, man. What does it say in Psalms 83? They're confederate with each other. They're all in bed with each other, man. Okay? Capitalism, right? That's a Edomite concept, right? Practiced and perfected here in America. Okay, and these nations have gotten rich off of it. Now you look at it, a lot of fucking India sent some satellites to fucking space with the technology and with the information and the data that they got from where? From who? Right? So they're all complicit. And I heard another voice, Salaki, and I heard another voice from heaven saying, "Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues, for her sins have reached unto heaven, and the Most High have remembered her iniquities." Right? Because the Lord, He's gonna judge this place, and He's saying what? That the sins have reached unto heaven. This place is overflowed. I believe it might have said something similar in Genesis when He flooded the earth. Okay, we are modern day Noahs. Telling you, man, repent, get it together. Hey, the Lord, and we telling this to ourselves because we're not perfect. All right, we saying it to ourselves first and foremost, but then the Lord charged us to come out here and say it to you, right? He charged us to push this message, to let you know, so you can have a warning, man, so you can have a chance. Hey, get it together, repent. If you ain't, in the right mindset, get in the right mindset. If you, study, focus on pleasing the Lord, okay, and come out of this place, because when Yahweh Shah returns, you don't want to be a part of what He's gonna lay down, man. You want to be a part of what He's gonna deliver. All right. Because He could deliver you into condemnation, or He could deliver you into, the kingdom of heaven. All right, and we hope in the latter. We hoping to be delivered and redeemed from this bullshit. All right, from this life. Okay, and partake in the establishment of the new kingdom. All right, to take the place of this one. So without any all praise and the glory to Yahweh. Bahashim Yahushua, Bahashim, Rakaha Kodash, double honors to the apostles and the elders, a great millstone who ruled well, land taught me this truth. Peace, blessings, salutations, and mercies to the elect, and the 1/3 remnant out there listening and doing this word with all faith and sincerity, scattered amongst the nations and the four corners of the earth. To you I say Shalom. DTA, Abad Babal, and DTN. Shalom.